It's Halloween. Creatures from hell will once more come out of their cages. They'll get you scared and frightened, and they're coming to get you. They're gonna drink your blood, sear your flesh, and make you scream, "No!" Okay, sorry, I just got carried away. They are famous horror movie characters, by the way. In every Halloween, they are mostly the talk of the town. Although Halloween is not a big thing in the Philippines, the Filipinos have their own version of mythical characters and are highlighted every first day of November. It's the time where most Filipinos would immortalize once more their rich cultural belief in the supernatural and the undead. And what if these Philippine mythical creatures get to be shown in Hollywood horror movies? What kind of stuff could we expect? How significant is belief in the supernatural to the shaping of the national identity of the Filipinos? This is Filipinos Ask What If? And here's what would happen if horror movie characters were Philippine made. First day of November. It's a national holiday in the Philippines. Local people call this day as the Araw ng Mga Patay. It is the day when most Filipinos would troop to the cemeteries to visit their departed loved ones. Most of their discussions would center on spooky stories, like how the presence of their departed loved ones can still be felt. Although the Philippines is a Catholic country, the belief in the supernatural is still a prominent part of the Filipinos, especially those who live in the countryside. So, what if Hollywood adopts these Filipino-inspired mythical characters? Alright, let's check what these Philippine mythical creatures are. If Mexico has the ghost of La Llorona, the Philippines? Well, they have the White Lady of the Balete Drive in Manila. She was a victim of rape and murder, and if you happen to drive at this area, just don't forget to push that beep though, or else she'll join you for a ride. Perhaps the most popular scary creature for the Filipinos is the devil called aswang, which is a human by day that turns into an animal-like demonic creature at night. They come in the form of a bat or a big black dog. It's also called tik-tik because of the kind of sound they make, which is like this. Apparently, this creature eats flesh and sucks human blood. The aswang prefers to victimize pregnant women who are about to give birth. Another scary creature is the manananggal, which is a bird-like human who searches for victims at night. The manananggal is said to be human by day, then at night, its body separates into two. The torso and upper portion of its body, with bat-like wings, fly into the darkness in search of its prey, while the lower part from the waist to its feet remains on the ground. Ooh, creepy. At the crack of dawn, the upper part flies back to where its lower part is and becomes one whole being once again. Some say that spraying salt or the presence of garlic helps to get rid of the swang and the manananggal. Can I also add pepper, ginger, spices, and onion? I suddenly felt like cooking. A Filipino mythical creature which can be considered the counterpart of the US Bigfoot is the kapre. It is a filthy, dark, and hairy giant who smokes a huge roll of cigars and hides on the top of a large tree. The Filipino elders say that when one gets stuck in a place and seems to keep going around in circles only to end up where he started, the kapre is believed to be playing around with that person. One way he can escape is by wearing his shirt inside out. And the other way, of course, is by using Google Map and navigation app. The duende is the Filipino version of dwarfs, goblins, or elves. These are naughty little creatures who can bring good or bad luck to humans. They are said to live in houses, in trees, or underground. Most Filipinos believe that they live inside termite houses or an anthill type of soil formation found in grassy areas or forests called apunso. Therefore, it is customary for you to say, "Tabi-tabi po," or "Excuse me," whenever you walk or pee beside a big tree. They'll get mad if you accidentally step or pee on them. And as a punishment, they're gonna make your teeny weeny some inches longer. I'm interested. Hey, does anybody know where can I find any of these? I'll just make them mad. Really, really mad. An encanto or diwata are fairies or forest spirits. They usually are beautiful ladies who protect the forest and the mountains. And if you misbehave while on a trek, they can lure you inside the middle of the forest and probably would have some sexy time with you. But after that, she'll transform into a scary monster and devour you. The Chanak is a baby who died before receiving baptismal rites, so when his soul is in limbo, he transforms into an evil spirit. He'll become from this to this. A half-human and half-horse creature is called a tikbalang. It has the head and feet of a horse and the body of a man. This supernatural being comes out on the night of a full moon looking for a female prey. And who wouldn't run if the tikbalang does this? And if Hogwarts has witches and wizards, the Philippines has their mangkukulam and mambabarang. A mangkukulam performs evil spells, wherein they'll pinch a voodoo doll that represents their victim with needles to hurt them. A mambabarang, on the other hand, also performs evil spells using insects. And the list goes on and on. They have the sirena, shokoy, amalanhig, pungisgis, multo, and many more. But why do Filipinos have this kind of stuff? It is because of the Filipinos' cultural and historical belief in deities and spirits. Long before the Spaniards came to the Philippines in 1521, the pre-colonial Filipinos believed in many deities. These supernatural beings were believed to have control over all phenomena basic to man's survival, like weather, diseases, the success of crops, and so forth, such that every phase of the daily activity had to follow the wishes of these controlling powers. The farmer, or the hunter, venturing into the fields, hills, and forests, should first seek the permission of the spirits living in the vicinity, or else he would meet with misfortunes on his way. Like asking permission from a duende and encanto made the environment preserved and protected. The capre made the children listen and respect the authorities of their elders. The Chanak, aswang, and mangkukulam instilled a sense of fear in them and made them more cautious with the works of the devil. It was through these narratives of the Philippine mythology that the early Filipinos defined their world, expressed their feelings, explained their success, and made their judgments. It regulated their conduct in conformity with the social order of group life. And in today's society, the belief in the supernatural has somehow just been confined to some sort of entertainment and material for films and write-ups. And the Philippine mythical creatures are no exception. The belief in them created a stereotype of being ignorant, uneducated, or provincial folk type. Well, it's inevitable. Let's say it's really part of the world getting modern and advanced. But to disregard the importance of these Philippine mythical beings is equivalent to disregarding a part of Filipino national identity. In fact, Philippine mythology has been ignored in the public primary education system for the last 100 years, and the results have created a bit of an identity crisis. The Philippine mythology is so fascinating, and yet it's not taught in Philippine primary and secondary schools. And what's more ironic is the public education system curriculum in the country includes the study of the Greek mythology. Nobody is suggesting that Greek mythology shouldn't be taught. In fact, it is a huge part of modern culture and has shaped the world and influenced artists, writers, and philosophers throughout history. So, why not also teach Philippine mythology in Philippine classrooms? Why not learn how superstitions and mythical creatures were historically created to explain the unknown? The study of Philippine mythology could teach Filipinos to be proud of the rich and colorful past of their ancestors and encourage its inclusion as part of their national identity. It should be a point of national pride and not ignorance. It is clear then that one cannot hope to understand the Filipinos as a people if their tales, myths, legends and songs, which are part of the matrix of their tradition, is disregarded. Learning them is making more sense of what is to be a